Split is a 2016 American psychological horror film written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. The film stars James McAvoy, Anya Taylor-Joy and Betty Buckley and follows a man with 23 different personalities who kidnaps 3 girls. It is a thematic sequel to Shyamalan's 2000 film Unbreakable. Principal photography began on November 11, 2015, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The film premiered at Fantastic Fest on September 26, 2016 and was released in the United States on January 20, 2017 by Universal Pictures. The film received generally positive reviews and has grossed $101 million worldwide. Plot: 3 teenagers, Claire, Haley Lou Richardson, Marcia, Jessica Sulla, and outsider Casey, Anya Taylor-Joy, are kidnapped by Dennis, one of the 23 split personalities inhabiting the body of Kevin Wendell Crumb. James McAvoy, a victim of childhood abuse with severe dissociative identity disorder, and held captive in a cellar. Kevin's psychiatrist, Dr. Karen Fletcher, Betty Buckley, who believes that in such cases the psychological unbalance can cause physiological changes, is concerned to find an email from Kevin's dominant personality, Barry, asking for a meeting. Over the years Kevin has been treated. He appears to be stable. All of his personalities sit in chairs in a room, waiting for their turn, in the light, controlling the body, while Barry controls who gets to go in the light. 2 personalities, Dennis and Patricia, are kept out of the light. In Dennis's case, this is because he likes to watch young girls dance naked, and he has both violent tendencies and has obsessive-compulsive disorder. Dr. Fletcher, through her studies, has reached to believing that people like Kevin can overcome their disabilities by moving to different personalities. Later in the movie, in an attempt to explain her about his new personality, Kevin reminds her about a blind girl with split personality disorder who could see when she went into another personality. She attends a medical conference online and tries to make her point. She says this can be a solution to all the disabilities. Claire and Marcia conspire to attack Dennis, but are dissuaded by Casey, who appears to have experience with abuse and wants to wait for a better chance. The girls realize Kevin's nature when Patricia, who dresses as a woman when in the light, comes and assures them that Dennis is forbidden from touching them as they serve a greater purpose. Casey seeks to befriend Hedwig, a personality that claims to be a 9-year-old boy, who confides that they will be sacrificed to the Beast, a rumored 24th personality, and inadvertently reveals that the cellar has recently been reinforced to hold them. Casey and Marcia barricade the door while Claire attempts to crawl through the fresh drywall, but Dennis emerges and stops her, locking Claire in a separate cell. Dennis masquerades as Barry and attends a meeting with Dr. Fletcher, dismissing the emails. But Fletcher notices discrepancies in his behavior and quickly realizes Dennis and Patricia have supplanted Barry as the dominant personality, and they discuss the possibility of the Beast being real. Casey and Marcia later receive food from Patricia, who brings them to the kitchen. Seeing an opportunity to escape, Marcia hits Patricia with a chair and flees, but is caught and placed in a different cell. Casey then continues to befriend Hedwig, having earlier heard him mention a window in his bedroom. Dennis once again visits Fletcher, and they talk about Kevin's father, who abandoned Kevin as a child aboard a train, leading the other personalities to believe that the Beast is hidden inside a train car. The personalities began manifesting to help Kevin cope with the abuse he was subjected to by his mother, who suffered from obsessive-compulsive disorder. Arriving back to Casey's cell, Hedwig is persuaded to take Casey to his bedroom, but Casey is disappointed to learn there is only a drawing of a window. She grabs a functional walkie-talkie nearby and radios for help before being subdued by Patricia. Casey then experiences flashbacks of being molested by her uncle John, Brad William Henker, who became her legal guardian after her father's, Sebastian Arslis, death. She was first molested while on a hunting trip with her father and uncle, and she later contemplates killing her uncle with his shotgun, but hesitates and the opportunity is lost. Dr. Fletcher becomes alarmed by a large number of email messages for help that she receives from Barry, so she rushes to Kevin's home and realizes he is responsible for the kidnappings. She excuses herself to go to the bathroom and tries to help the girls, but is caught, drugged and locked up by Dennis, who then goes into a train car and becomes the Beast, manifesting superhuman speed, strength, resilience and agility. Knowing that the only way to call to the light, the real Kevin, is to speak his full name, Dr. Fletcher writes it on a piece of paper before being killed by the Beast. Meanwhile, the girls separately try to escape from their cells. The Beast first kills Marcia and then Claire, while Casey stumbles upon Drive, Fletcher's corpse as well as her instructional note, and briefly calls Kevin to the light by speaking his name. Horrified by his actions, Kevin directs Casey to where his shotgun is and orders her to kill him before his other personalities begin to take over, switching from one to the other until the Beast returns and corners Casey after she gets the shotgun. She shoots him at point-blank range, with no success. The Beast then voices his plans to rid the world of the untouched, those whose hearts are impure because they have never suffered in their lives. The Beast prepares to devour Casey when he notices scars on her and rejoices in the fact that she is pure, concluding that troubled people are exceptional. The Beast spares Casey and leaves, while Casey is rescued by one of Kevin's co-workers and learns she was being held underneath the Philadelphia Zoo, where Kevin works and lives, in the basement of the maintenance building. In another hideout, Dennis, Patricia, and Hedwig exert permanent control of Kevin's body and admire the power of the Beast and their plans to change the world. Casey is asked by a police officer if she is ready to return home with her uncle. Casey's look of determination implies she is ready to tell the police about her uncle's abusive behavior. In a diner, patrons listen to the media coverage of Kevin's crimes, for which he's been nicknamed the Horde. One of the patrons notes the similarity between Kevin and a wheelchair-bound serial killer, arrested 15 years prior. Struggling to remember the man's name, the man sitting next to her is revealed to be an older David Dunn, Bruce Willis, who reminds the patron that it was Mr. Glass. Cast James McAvoy as Kevin Wendell Crumb, a sufferer of dissociative identity disorder, who has 23 prominent personalities, each with something peculiar or dangerous for his captives. Kevin's body chemistry changes with each personality, resulting in his 24th and final personality, the Beast, being capable of superhuman levels of strength, speed, mobility, allowing him to scale walls and ceilings, and a voracious hunger for human flesh. The personalities are collectively known as the Horde by two of the personalities, Dennis and Patricia, and the Horde becomes the name he is referred to in the news. Anya Taylor-Joy as Casey Cook, a young girl with a traumatic past and a history of self-harm, who is kidnapped by Dennis, one of Kevin's personalities, to be sacrificed to the Beast. Izzy Coffey plays a 5-year-old Casey. Betty Buckley is Dr. Karen Fletcher, a psychologist who attempts to help Kevin with his DID, and believes that DID can, in extreme cases, cause physiological changes. Haley Lou Richardson as Claire Benoit, a classmate of Casey and a friend of Marcia, who is also kidnapped by Dennis to be sacrificed to the beast. Jessica Suller as Marcia, a classmate of Casey and a friend of Claire, who is also kidnapped by Dennis to be sacrificed to the beast. Brad William Henker as John, Casey's abusive uncle and legal guardian who molested her as a child. Sebastian Arsalas as Mr. Cook, Casey's father. Neil Huff as Mr. Benoit, Claire's father. Kim Director as Hannah. Line Renee as academic moderator. M. Night Shyamalan as Jai, a security guard in Dr. Fletcher's apartment building. Bruce Willis as David Dunn. Production. Shyamalan conceived of the idea for Split years before he actually wrote the screenplay. He explained, "In this case I had written the character a while ago, and I had written out a few scenes of it. So I even had dialogue written out, which is really unusual for me. It sat there for a long time, and I really don't have a clear reason why I didn't pull the trigger earlier. But this felt like the perfect time to do it. With the type of movies I'm doing now, and the type of tones I am interested in, humor and suspense." On October 2, 2015, James McAvoy was cast in the film to play the lead, replacing Joaquin Phoenix. On October 12, 2015, Anya Taylor-Joy, Betty Buckley, Jessica Suller, and Haley Lou Richardson were added to the cast. On October 27, 2015, Universal Pictures came on board to release the film and titled it as Split. The character of Kevin had been in one of the early drafts of Shyamalan's Unbreakable, but he had pulled the character out, stating there were balancing issue at that time. With Split, he brought in some of the scenes he had written for Unbreakable around Kevin. The film ends with the appearance of Bruce Willis' character, David Dunn, from Unbreakable and making a comment in reference to the previous film, placing Unbreakable and Split within the same narrative universe. Shyamalan had been very secretive of Willis' involvement in Split, removing the final scene from the film for test audiences. Shyamalan said he would like to make a movie that would combine Unbreakable and Split in the future. Principal photography on the film began on November 11, 2015 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Reshoots occurred in June 2016. During post-production, Sterling K. Brown's role as Dr. Fletcher's neighbor was cut from the film. Release. Split had its world premiere at Fantastic Fest on September 26, 2016. It also screened at the AFI Fest on November 15, 2016. The film was theatrically released on January 20, 2017 in the United States, United Kingdom and Canada. Box office. As of January 29, 2017. Split has grossed $80 million in the United States and Canada and $23.7 million in other territories for a worldwide gross of $101.7 million, against a production budget of $9 million. In North America, the film was released alongside the openings of XXX, Return of Xander Cage and the Resurrection of Gavin Stone, and the wide expansions of The Founder and 20th Century Women, and was initially expected to gross $20–25 million from 3,038 theaters in its opening weekend. The film made $2 million from its Thursday night previews at 2,295 theaters, doubling the $1 million made by Shyamalan's The Visit in 2015. And $14.6 million on its first day, increasing weekend estimates to $30–37 million. It ended up opening to $40.2 million, finishing first of the box office and marking the highest non-X-Men debut for McAvoy. In its second weekend the film made $26.3 million. again topping the box office. Critical response. Split received generally positive reviews from critics, with McAvoy's performance being praised. On the review aggregator site Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 73%, based on 179 reviews, with an average rating of 6.4. The site's critical consensus reads, Split serves as a dramatic tour de force for James McAvoy in multiple roles, and finds writer-director M. Night Shyamalan returning resoundingly to thrilling form. Metacritic reports an average score 62 out of 100, based on 47 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B+ on an A+ to F scale. Jordan Hoffman of The Guardian gave the film 4 stars out of 5, stating it to be a masterful blend of Hitchcock, horror and therapy session. Also writing for The Guardian, Steve Rose had strong praise for McAvoy's role, saying that he does a fine and fearless job of selling his character's varied personae. He commended his ability to switch personalities in one scene toward the end of the film, saying, "It's a little like the T-1000 at the end of Terminator 2. But there are no special effects here. Just acting." Quote, controversy. Split garnered controversy for its alleged stigmatization of mental illness. The Australian mental health charity SANE stated, "Films like this are going to reinforce a false stereotypical notion that people living with complex mental illnesses are inherently dangerous and violent." The International Society for the Study of Trauma and Dissociation issued a statement debunking the stereotype of dangerous dissociative identity disorder, DID, patients, and criticizing how the film was made at the expense of a vulnerable population that struggles to be recognized and receive the effective treatment that they deserve. Some with dissociative identity disorder spoke out against the film and its marketing for the representation of multiple personalities as frightening and/or violent, including in an open letter to the director. Possible sequel. Shyamalan expressed hope for a second installment following Split, saying, "I hope a third Unbreakable film happens. The answer is yes. I'm just such a wimp sometimes. I don't know what's going to happen when I go off in my room a week after this film opens to write the script. But I'm going to start writing. I have a really robust outline, which is pretty intricate. But now the standards for my outlines are higher. I need to know I've won already. I'm almost there but I'm not quite there." Quote, official website. Split at the Internet Movie Database.